Believe it or not, the move you're about to learn, which is the loop, isn't any harder than the moves you've just learned, the split wheels or the cartwheel moves. It uses skills that you probably already have. If you've ever done a front flip, then you can already do a loop. So here's how we'll do it. Step one is we need a hole that's deep enough that you're not going to hit bottom. Or if you do hit bottom, you barely tag the bottom. If you hit the bottom really easily when you plug in for a front ender or a rotendo, it's not going to work very well for the loop. So the first key to doing a loop is finding a proper hole. It can be a heavily breaking wave, or it can be a full-on hole. Holes that are puffier or taller versus pour-overs are easier to loop in. And the reason is because more water goes down into the hole and then shoots up. And it's that upward shooting water that can help shoot you up to assist with the loop. Now that we've found a good hole, let's loop. Ferry out to the top of the hole till you're all the way on the top. As your bow hits the green water, you're going to stand up on your foot braces. Now your bow is going to plug in and it's going to start rising up a little bit. As it starts rising up, that's the moment you're going to lean forward as hard as you can and tuck. As soon as the stern catches, you're going to go from leaning on your front spray skirt to leaning your body all the way on the back deck. Essentially what you're doing is opening up a pair of scissors, or you're throwing the bow down by throwing your body back. Again, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's how you finish off the loop. The technique that we're learning, if done right, is going to pop you out of the water, and before you know it, you'll be air looping. There's a few common mistakes people will make when learning to loop. Number one, they try to learn in a spot that just isn't deep enough. So what happens is your bow hits the bottom and stops all your rotation and prevents you from being able to loop over the top. Another common mistake is not keeping the boat straight. When you drive in, you need to not only keep the boat pointed straight up against the current, but you also need to keep from leaning the boat to the left or the right. You need to keep the boat dead flat. By doing that, your bow goes in straight and your boat pops up straight, which allows you to loop over straight. Another common mistake is when you're up high, you've tucked, your stern hits, instead of opening up and pushing your feet down to flatten the boat out to finish your loop, another common mistake is to keep your body tucked up. Now the reason that doesn't work very well unless you do a really high loop is because your body weight is on the bow. Your face is up by the spray skirt and your body weight's on the bow. So when the water hits the stern, it has to lift all your body weight up and over in order to finish the loop. You can make it a lot easier for the water to finish your loop by leaning back. There's one more thing you can do to help eke out loops, and that is to do the loop stroke. The loop stroke is essentially at that last moment when you're going from tucked, leaning forward, to opening up, leaning back to finish it off. Instead of just leaning back, take your right blade from your bow and sweep it straight over your head all the way to the stern. What that helps is to pull the bow down and to push you up into the hole. That loop stroke will really help you complete a few loops that wouldn't otherwise complete. It's also a great way to stay in the hole.